So Vigilantes, we've got our new look at Arrow Season 8. Even though most of the trailer was a montage, we did get some very exciting previews in those kind of last 10 to 15 seconds. So let's break all of this new stuff down. How's it going, Vigilantes? Welcome to my Arrow Season 8 Comic-Con kind of trailer breakdown. Now, I probably won't be showing the trailer in full length in this video. I don't usually get hit for trailers, but for some reason, the Comic-Con trailers are kind of showing red flags for this channel, and they're getting copyright claims. So I assume you've all seen the trailer anyway. I still will be showing the footage that I'm talking about, but just showing the whole trailer in full. Understandably, I'm not going to do that if it's just going to get claimed. But, you know, as for the panel, like what I did with my Flash video, if you haven't seen that coverage for the Flash trailer breakdown, I'll leave it in the cards above. But they released quite a bit of information in that panel that I spoke about in that video. But whereas the Arrow panel, with it being his final season, it was more of like a goodbye and like a discussion with the fans. A lot of, well, everyone, most of the cast were kind of praising Stephen Amell, which, you know, makes sense because without him, Arrow wouldn't really be Arrow. But, you know, there still is plenty to talk about, especially with who we saw at the end of the trailer. And I know it had been circulating around a little bit before. I was a bit out of the loop because I just got back from vacation yesterday, so sorry if I seem mega tired right now, kind of jet lagged. But, you know, we saw Adrian Chase in this trailer, and there's just, that's just blew my mind when I saw that. Somehow this trailer as well, when I saw it last night, got leaked well ahead of the panel. I think, yeah, like an hour or so before the actual panel even began. So just before I go over all of the new stuff we got out of Arrow Season 8 at San Diego Comic-Con, be sure to subscribe to this channel for all the other kind of videos I'll be covering, like Titans and stuff like that, everything we learned that way. And go ahead and like this video if you do go on to enjoy it. But let's start from the beginning. Now, the trailer as a whole, it was a good trailer, but at the same time, it was mostly just a montage. Now, I do get it personally. They haven't really filmed little to anything. So what they did put in was pretty cool. And as for like the montage being attached to it, I think it's very fitting considering it's Arrow's final season. And we saw this kind of tribute to Oliver Queen growing throughout the seasons just before the new footage started. Without that, I just feel like they would have only quite literally shown 15 to 20 seconds tops of this new footage, and that would have seemed underwhelming within itself. They kind of wanted to add a little bit of a side on there to kind of keep your, you know, appetite not craving anymore. Well, I mean, we are craving more, but you get what I mean. In these first couple of scenes we get here, we see John Diggle Jr., as you guys may remember before actually recently got even further explained, in Arrow last season in the Flash Forwards, we learned that John Diggle Jr. Became the leader of the Deathstroke gang, whereas Connor Hawke is, you know, the good guy. But the main point being, it's just fascinating how, and it's kind of a little bit of a contrast how Connor Hawke, considering his father, grew up the good guy, and John Diggle Jr., I guess, well, didn't end up so well. And I'm looking forward to this conflict he has between, even though I'm not a big Flash Forward guy, you know, I'm still looking forward to the future scenes. But this has made me a lot more excited. And if you guys also remember, Connor Hawke also kind of mentioned to Mia when they were talking about their parents and just measuring up and, you know, what life is like growing up when your parents are away half the time, you know, like Diggle and Lila were. So I guess, you know, this could be a big reason as to why we see John Diggle Jr. here with this Deathstroke mask on. Now, as for who John Diggle Jr. is, if you don't know already, you may recognize him from Russian Doll, which I haven't seen. But anyway, it's Charlie Barnett. Now, what WBTV had to say about the role is John Diggle Jr. to be played by new series regular Charlie Barnett, known as JJ, is the Flashpoint-born son of John Diggle and Lila Michaels. We met JJ in the future as the leader of the Deathstroke gang, where he faces off against Mia and his adoptive brother, Connor. So that's going to be a cool bit of family drama, and where they say we meet him facing off against his adoptive brother, well, we see that right at the beginning of the new footage in this trailer. Now, let's get on to the very, very, very interesting stuff, where a lot of people are talking pure speculation, and it, you know, the speculation is very fun, considering how this may very well be done, given that Oliver Queen is off of the monitor. And, you know, there's been lots of other things that have come out that Stephen Amell has said. For example, he's playing multiple versions of Oliver Queen. Sorry, he's playing multiple characters, all known as Oliver. So the potential is limitless there. They could honestly give him like the Robin Hood hat and, you know, put you know, like a, you know, goatee on him. It's just... Do you know what I mean? I don't see why they wouldn't do that. Even if it's just a little bit of a joke, I could actually see them going there. Let me know what you think of that. But in this scene, before we go on to all of that extra info, is we see Oliver versus... Well, it seems that we see Green Arrow versus Green Arrow. Now, given the next scenes being Adrian Chase is revealed, and in the same room we see a load of dead bodies, it just makes me think that this Adrian Chase is an alternate Earth version of the Green Arrow. Now, this is just, you know, an off-the-cuff theory of mine. I have no idea if it's true, but just given the fact that he's not dressed like Prometheus there, he's wearing, if I'm looking at this correctly, it looks like they are both wearing the same version of the season 8 Arrow suit. Like, I'm looking at this here, Oliver, you can see Stephen Amell was there, but you can also kind of tell that that's Adrian Chase because of the beard that we see in this couple of scenes afterwards, and it looks like they're both the Green Arrow. Now, this could be perhaps that this version of the Green Arrow obviously isn't Oliver Queen. He's a vigilante who's still killing like Oliver was in season 1. That would be super interesting. We even see that scene where Adrian Chase is talking to someone, perhaps maybe even after Oliver has caught him, and you know, maybe he wants to help recruit him against Crisis, even if he is a bit, you know, rough around the edges version of the Green Arrow, because it seems that he's killing. We hear him saying like years on a deserted island and you came back as a vigilante seems a bit far-fetched. Now, I'll be intrigued to know if he has the same background, maybe not, but either way it seems that he is also a vigilante, but, you know, in the killing mode, which Oliver obviously got out of. And we see all those bodies on the floor towards the end of this trailer. We see Adrian Chase in the Green Arrow costume there, and I believe this is the actual season 8 one, the newly updated one, whatever he's looking at there. In that lab where he killed those people. It looks like a lab anyway, because we see a couple of people in lab-like clothing. Basically, this whole scene looks a bit confusing because we see Oliver drop in there and we see his stubble, but that stubble is Stephen Amell's stubble, and it's different to the Adrian Chase Green Arrow we see in these scenes as well. I know that sounded all really like overcomplicated, but bottom line, I think we are getting two vigilantes here, and they're bringing back Josh Segarra as a Green Arrow from a different Earth, which would be super interesting. And no, I don't think Oliver's going back in time with the monitor to pick up Josh Segarra's Adrian Chase from our Earth before he becomes Prometheus, because that wouldn't make sense for the Green Arrow costume that he's wearing being, or seeming to be, I can't confirm this, but to me it looks identical to the new one they've fitted for Oliver. But just given all of these bodies on the floor, it could just be the lighting, but I can't make out the colors of the arrow feathers. They look a little bit darker than the usual green we get for Oliver, so it could just turn out that this is a Green Arrow on another Earth, but it could be like a Dark Arrow version or something like that, just like a much more eviler version of Oliver, but just Adrian Chase becoming a vigilante, but a dark vigilante. You know, the possibilities are endless, but one thing is, guys, I am super hyped about Adrian Chase coming back in whatever way, I'm super hyped. And the reason why I spoke about this the longest in the trailer is because it's the most interesting part to me. So let me know what you thought down in the comments below. Now, guys, I find this very, very intriguing. This is kind of linked to a couple of other scenes, but the main point being here is that we see Diggle and we see Oliver. Now, this is obviously in the future, once he's probably already been away of the monitor, but I said in my recent video of like what are they going to do in Arrow Season 8 or something like that, I included some of my predictions, and it was a little bit of a wish list as well. I said that I know Oliver's got shite to do around the universe, but it would be super weird if we didn't have him in the Arrow Cave before Crisis, you know, the actual crossover began. I know he needs to recruit other people and do a lot of things, but if there's some way they can get him back in the cave and have that Team Arrow dynamic just a couple of times, that would be great. And it seems that we somehow got that. I didn't actually expect that. I even concluded in that video saying I don't think that's going to happen, just given the responsibility and the preparation he has to do with the monitor. But lo and behold, we see Oliver here. Granted that it could be like a 2-minute scene before he pops back with the monitor, but either way, it's satisfied my need for wanting him to go back to the Arrow Cave. Plus, as I said, at the end of the trailer, we see him going like that elevator in the Arrow Cave, and he says something, but either way, it seems that he's there with Diggle again. So it looks like he has one more thing to do, and who knows what that is. Now I'm just going to brush over this bit very quickly because it's very hard to know what's going on here, but it seems as though we have Wild Dog pointing a gun towards Tommy Merlin. Now, God knows what's going on with Tommy Merlin here, whether that is really Tommy Merlin, whether it's another version of Tommy Merlin. It's just confusing. It could just be the swappy face guy. I forgot the name off the top of my head, but I don't get why he would be here wearing Tommy's face for no reason. I would love to know your theories on that, but another thing that is really, really cool, guys, and I'm going to pull up the concept art at the same time, is here we see the new Black Siren, if you will, newly kind of turned Black Canary, in a very, very cool comic accurate costume here. Now, obviously in the concept art, she's got longer hair, but it's actually sweet with the shorter hair as well. It works both ways. But man, that is a seriously, seriously nice costume, and you can see where some of the budget has gone here. I'm just wondering if they have the same budget for this season, despite there only being 10 episodes, but that allows them to add a lot more money into like the suits and other areas, because they've discussed that they can go out on a big bang this season, and that's a lot to do with obviously budgetary reasons, but also if there's only 10 episodes, that means putting more money into these episodes. I wonder if that's got anything to do with it. If it does, then I expect really, really cool things from these last 10 episodes. Obviously, considering it's Crisis, but the actual Arrow self-contained episodes themselves, they're going to be sweet as well. That is more or less everything I think I have to discuss about the like 10 to 15 seconds we got at the end of the trailer, with a little bit of actual panel information. But as I said, from the recaps that I've read, but I wasn't there to be fair, it seems that they were just kind of reflecting on Arrow as a whole and, going over Steven's time there. But if there is any new information, be sure to subscribe, because I will be making regular updates about Arrow going into the final season. And also be sure to subscribe to just keep up to date on my other videos, because there is a bunch of, Comic-Con videos to cover, because there's trailers for multiple things, even trailers for things like Titans that haven't been publicly released yet, but I definitely want to talk about it because we got Deathstroke in that, and just loads more things like that. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you vigilantes in the next video. Goodbye.